But I want to understand the pivoting piece and advice and how you thought about that.
Yeah, the pivoting piece, I think, look, I think it's probably central to an entrepreneur's kind of composition, in the sense that I think you have to remember, like, first of all, I encourage my team and my staff always to think about this, is don't just think about what you're doing, think about why you're doing it. And always keep that in the back of your mind, which is, but first of all, when you're building a company, I think it's important to remember that ultimately a company is a financial instrument. It is something that you have investors, and for certainly I did. Now there are people out there who are like, you know what, my grandmother used to make these cookies, and every time I make these cookies, I remember my grandmother, so I love making them. And then people like them, so maybe they start selling them locally. And for them, maybe it's a side hobby. They could be a part-time mom. They could be right, and that's their job. Their goal in life is just is different. It's not like I want to make this into a multi-billion-dollar enterprise. It's, hey, I just want to experience my grandmother's memory. If that's the reason you're doing it, then that's a great reason, and it's a noble reason, and continue doing it in that way. But that wasn't the reason I was doing it. I was doing it because I did want to build a multi-billion-dollar enterprise. And so I always kept my goal in mind, and also the investors who were backing me, we're doing it with the same purpose, which is they want this to be financially lucrative. So in doing that, I always think to myself, you have to blend art and commerce in a sense. For the most successful, I think, ideas are the ones that blend the two together, because art is like creativity, right? It's passion. It's that kind of soft element. But commerce is a little bit more defined. It's logical, it's analytical. So it's the right brain, the left brain working together when you get the art commerce going. And if you look at like the most successful, in any industry, the most successful movie producers or the most successful whatever, it's always the ones that are able to cross that. Like Steven Spielberg was always one of my favorite director producers, and when he made movies like E.T. or Jurassic Park, it was really creative and new and groundbreaking, but also very commercial and broad, right? In that sense, and that's when I think you get really big success, is when you're able to blend that art and the commerce together. And too often I see companies that have just commerce and they don't have any heart or creativity, or I see the opposite, where it's very niche and it's very just artistic, but they don't have the commerce element well thought out. And so the pivoting for me, it was always keeping those two things combined, and saying to myself, when you're small, you have to basically go a little bit with what I call the low hanging fruit. You have to, like, why did we choose this path of doing the Cheeto style pea-based snack instead of bringing over the Indian snacks? Because my original idea was the Indian snacks. So why did we change? Well, we changed because it would have been a lot harder, a lot more expensive, and taken a lot longer to build a brand that consumers didn't understand, versus one where you're saying, hey, this is a pea-based Cheeto, which they understand very easily.